All right, in Arizona, DeAndre Hopkins has a new teammate. A.J. Green joined the team via free agency from the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's A.J. Green talking about his new pass-catching teammate, DeAndre Hopkins.
I never played with a guy like D-Hop, and just coming in, meeting him, the guy is unbelievable, man. He embraced me. You know, we don't have no egos. He's telling me, like, if you want to run a route and, you know, and I'm at this position, just let me know. So you have a guy like that, two guys like that in the room, man, it's going to be unbelievable, and we feed off each other.
There's no denying and there's no doubting the skills and abilities of DeAndre Hopkins. The irony in that comment is the presumption that A.J. Green is still A.J. Green.
That's it.
That's the question everyone has. And maybe he is. Maybe he is. But it's completely fair based on the past several years for us to say A.J. Green, remember it was A.J. Green, Julio Jones, A.J. Green, Julio Jones, drafted the same year, drafted the top 10. Julio Jones is still Julio Jones. A.J. Green hasn't been A.J. Green for a while.
No, it's been at least 3 years, right? I mean, because he was hurt 2 years ago, then last year was underwhelming. You know, yeah, I mean, he's one of the more special specimens, freaks of nature that we've ever had at the wide receiver position in the NFL. I mean, he's one of those guys, Mike, that classifies of like the whoa factor, where you get on a practice field or a game field and you see A.J. Green, it's up there with the Julio Jones or the Randy Mosses or the Andre Johnsons, where you just go, what? Is that guy really that big and that fast and that quick? Does that make sense? I mean, he's special that way. But he's like the biggest question in the NFL maybe at the wide receiver position to piggyback off of what you said. I mean, it's an ultimate boom or bust, scenario here. A.J. Green last year, it was good, but like you said, it certainly wasn't great. There was drop balls, and it looked like there was still a little bit of a lack of explosion or something from the foot injury from the year before. So that is going to be the million-dollar question. And with Arizona in general, I think that's one of the intriguing things. They got kind of like two of those guys on their roster right now. Him, A.J. Green, we're not sure what he's going to be. If he's close to what he used to be, then it's, whoa, watch out. But even the second-round pick they got, Mike, Rondell Moore, I know we talked about him a little in the draft. He's been hurt in college football the last 2 years. He was a freak show as a freshman. He was kind of as a sophomore and junior, but dealing with injuries. I mean, if they have those two come together and you can spread the field with Hopkins, A.J. Green, Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk, and then you got Kyler Murray at shotgun with a 4-wide set, wow, have fun defenses. I mean, have fun defensive coordinators. Get your Tylenol because you're going to have headaches all week long trying to figure that out.
One point about A.J. Green, I'm looking at his statistical accomplishments. It was a big deal this year when Mike Evans became the first receiver in league history to have 1,000 yards for 7 straight seasons to begin his career. A.J. Green would have been the first, but he only had 964 yards in 2016 when he only played in 10 games. Think about that, 964 yards in 10 games. He would have sailed over 1,000 yards. And then the wheels came off. 2017, he had 1,000 yards, but then 2018, 694 in 9 games, didn't play in 2019 at all. Last year, he played in every game. He was targeted 104 times, 47 catches, 523 yards. That's 32.6 yards per game. That is a dramatic fall over the last couple of years. We haven't seen the best of A.J. Green in 4 years. And it's a calculated risk by the Cardinals that they're gonna draw it out of him. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think that's one of the big questions for a guy who had to linger on the market, Chris, because nobody really knows what he has left.
No, nobody does. And he had a hard time connecting with Joe Burrow last year too. A little bit like that Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., where it's like both of them were nervous or they couldn't get on the same page or whatever it was. But it's certainly, when you turn on the film of A.J. Green, yes, it's not the same guy. It does not have the same explosion, top-end speed, any of that. Hopefully, another year of playing, a year away from that foot injury, maybe he's back at least as the athletic specimen close to what he was before that injury. We'll see, but that's a huge question because they're one of those teams that, that works out. They're going to be a major player, of course, in the NFC and the NFC West, and it'll be a handful trying to figure out how to guard that that offense. But there's some big question marks there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.